welcome to Learn to Playthrough, and I'm your host, Jonathan. In this playthrough, we'll be learning Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients, the first of 2 core sets. But the first thing we'll have to do before setting up any game is emptying the box. So as you can see, as I said in the unboxing video, they do all fit back in the box, kind of snugly, but they do fit. So now through the magic of fast forwarding, let's empty the box and organize everything on the side table. And go. And stop. Well, there you go. So it took me a little over 18 minutes to empty the box and organize everything nicely off to the side and ready for playthrough. Take a look at the area here we got all set up. So we got ourselves our cards, rule books, the tiles, the enemies, and all of the other tokens that are needed to play the game. So we can go ahead and now that the box is all emptied and everything is organized, let's go ahead and continue on with game setup. Hello there, Jonathan here, and welcome back as we continue with game setup. You can go ahead and check out that setup list in the rulebook on page 8 in the section Game Setup. The list contains 8 steps that you need to do prior to playing the game. Step 1, number of players, heroes. On the box it shows that the game is intended for 1 to 4 players. In this core set it has 4 heroes that you can choose from. Got ourselves the Bandito, the Gunslinger, Saloon Girl, and U.S. Marshal. If you want, you can increase the number of players from 4 to 6 and play 6 heroes if you want, the maximum you can play with. In doing so, you'd have to either make copies of the heroes that you have in this core set, or obtain the second core set which contains 4 new heroes, or buy other new heroes not located in the core sets. So once you've decided on how many people are going to play and how many heroes are going to be involved, go to step number 2, which is shuffle card decks. So let's go ahead and do some speed shuffling. And done. Now, as you can see per the diagram on page 8, the 9 decks on the left and the 1 deck on the right, it has this faint rectangular area next to them which is used for discards. The 2 decks on the top middle, which are the scavenge and the loot decks, they do not have the faint rectangular area used for discards, as those cards are reshuffled after each time they are drawn. Now, step 3, prepare exploration tokens. So when you find a new room, you need to draw an exploration token. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up these tokens, just like we did with the cards. Go ahead and we'll just mix them up here in our hand. So now we have no idea what we're going to get. Are we going to get an encounter, an attack, growing dreads? We have no idea. So now the stack is made. We'll put it off to the side. And our next step, number 4, is Ready Heroes. Since this is the first mission in the Learn phase, we're going to go ahead and create 2 heroes to play. So let's go ahead and jump out of Game Setup to Hero Creation. Hello there, Jonathan here, and welcome to Hero Creation. The steps for creating a hero are in the rulebook on page 7 in the section Creating a New Hero. So as I said in game setup, since this is the first mission in the learn phase, we're going to go ahead and play with 2 heroes. These are the 4 heroes that comes with the core box, Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. We have the Bandito, the Gunslinger, the Saloon Girl, and the U.S. Marshal. So we're going to go ahead and roll a d4 to choose randomly one of the heroes. Now we don't have a d4 per se, but instead we're just going to use the d8 that comes with the game. And on a 1 to 2, we'll have the Bandito, 3 and 4 is the Gunslinger, 5, 6 for the Saloon Girl, and 7, 8 for the U.S. Marshal. Alright, got a 6, that means the Saloon Girl is our first hero. Now we're going to go ahead and roll a d3. Now we don't have a d3 per se, instead we're going to use the d6 that came with the game. So then on a 1 and 2, we'll have the Bandito, 3 and 4 for the Gunslinger, and 5, 6 for the U.S. Marshal. Alright, so we got a 4, which is the Gunslinger. So let's go and get the U.S. Marshal and the Bandito out of here. And we'll go ahead and set up the 2 heroes off to the side here. And as I said in the unboxing, the heroes, they come in 2 gender versions, the male and female. So we're going to go ahead and roll a d6, and on an odd, the Gunslinger is going to be male. Alright, so we got an even, so the Gunslinger is now a female. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and roll the d6 for the Saloon Girl, and on odd, the Saloon Girl will be a female, and on even, it'll be the male version, which is the piano player. Alright, there we go. So Saloon Girl is female. So we got 2 females heading into the mine. So before we go ahead and create our heroes, let's go ahead and take a look at the card. In the upper right, we have their abilities: agility, cunning, spirit, strength, lore, and luck. To the right of that, we have initiative of 6, so the Gunslinger is pretty quick. In the bottom left, we have combat 1, max grit 2. To the right of that, we have the 2 hits, range of 3+, and a melee of 5+. To the right of that, we have health of 10 and a 5+ defense. And then we have sanity 12 and 4+ willpower. Now each of the heroes in the middle have an ability. The special ability for the Gunslinger is called Quicken the Dead, where she uses the 6-shooter template. It starts each game fully loaded with 6 Deadeye shot bullets. And then also there on the bottom has starting items, pistol, which we'll get to in a few minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at this 6-shooter template that the Gunslinger gets. So this is the 6-shooter template. It's a cylinder. It's got the chamber for the 6 bullets. So put that right there. And this is the bullet that they use for the Deadeye shot. It's kind of a goldish brown, and you get a +2 to damage. So we'll go ahead and fill up the cylinder with 6 bullets. Alright, and now let's take a look at the Saloon Girl's card. So, same area. Upper right is the abilities of agility, cunning, and spirit, strength, lore, and luck. And she has an initiative of 5, so she's a little bit slower than this Gunslinger. Bottom left, we have combat of 2 and max grit of 2. So it looks like her combat skills are a little bit more stronger than the Gunslinger. The to hit has a range of 4+ and a melee of 4+, so she's pretty even when it comes to shooting and fighting, whereas the Gunslinger was a lot better with the ranged, shooting a gun. To the right, she's got a health of 8 and a 3+ defense, and her sanity is 14 with a 4+ willpower. Her special ability in the middle is called Comforting Presence. At the end of the hero turn, may heal 1 wound or 1 sanity from every other adjacent hero. Then she's going to gain 5 XP, experience points, for each wound sanity healed this way. The next one is lightweight. She may only use guns that have the keyword light. And the last one is she's fast. She gets a +1 to her move. And then her starting item is a holdout pistol. Okay. So those are the heroes that you've chosen. And then the next thing to do is the starting items. So the gunslinger, as I said, the starting item for the gunslinger is the pistol. So you'll go ahead and you'll get this deck called the starting gear deck. And you go ahead and you look through it for a pistol. And there's the pistol. So put that there for the gunslinger. And then the saloon girl, she gets the holdout pistol. And there's the holdout pistol. Alright, next thing on hero creation, we have draw a personal item. Now when you play the game, you got to watch out for the words, because here it says to draw a personal item as opposed to get a personal item or find a personal item. So in this case, we get ourselves the personal items deck, and then we go ahead and give it a little shuffle. And here it says to draw, so we're going to go ahead and just fan it out, and we'll draw one for the gunslinger, and we'll draw one for the saloon girl. And the gunslinger got a hand mirror, +4 sanity. Voices in the Dark now only does D3 hits to you instead of D6. Okay. The saloon girl, she got Weathered Poncho, +4 health, and ignores weather effects. Excellent, excellent. Okay, after that we go into choosing your starting upgrade. So this is what the upgrade deck looks like. It comes with 3 cards, and you get to choose whichever one you want. But in our case, what we're going to do is just put them down here, and then I'm going to roll a d6, and on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so it's this one right here. And then the same thing for the saloon girl. We get her 3 cards. We'll go ahead and put those down here. Roll the d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oop, it went flat on my hand there. Okay, it's this one right there. So now we take a look at the gunslingers, and hers is pistol fanning. Use 1 grit to double the number of shots you get with a single-handed gun for 1 attack. Limit once per turn. To use this ability, you must have 1 hand open. Okay. Saloon girl, she has acrobatic dodge. You may move through other models during your movement. Once per turn, you may re-roll 1 failed defense roll. Excellent. Okay. Next, talks about the side bag and free tokens. So here's the side bag that each of the hero will get. And then the tokens that they use are either the bandage, and then we also have the dynamite and the whiskey. So the same thing, roll the d6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so the gunslinger, she's going to get a whiskey placed into her side bag. And then the saloon girl, alright, the saloon girl, she's going to get the dynamite. Alright. Now on the listing on page 7 for the hero creation, if you go to the left side, it talks about recovering grit. Now, every hero will start the game with 1 grit. So we go ahead and just put a grit there, and there. And then when we go into the darkness of the mine, we're going to need a light source. So we have what's called the old lantern. And we're going to roll a d6, and on an odd, the gunslinger is going to carry the old lantern. Alright, well, we got an even, so that means that the saloon girl is going to carry the old lantern. So that is it for hero creation. All you have to do now is name your hero, give them a backstory, some identity to them, and then from there, get into the mine and start shooting those guns. So now with our 2 heroes created, let's go ahead and head on back to game setup. Hello there, Jonathan here, and welcome back to Game Setup, as we're at the gameplay area, and let's continue with Step 5, Select Mission. Now is the time when you're going to decide on which mission you'd like to go on. Since this is the first mission in the Learn phase, we're going to go ahead and start with the recommended introductory mission, A Fistful of Darkstone, located in the rulebook on page 9 in the section Your First Game. Our next step, Step 6, Prepare Depth Track. At the beginning of every round, you need to do what's called Hold Back the Darkness. To do this, you'll be using this device called the Depth Track, and you'll have to do some dice rolling to figure out whether or not you hold back the darkness or not. So we'll go and place that here in the bottom left. Then we need ourselves this yellow hero posse marker, which we will place on the mine entrance space. And then we'll need this green darkness marker, which we will place on the darkness start space. Our next step, Step 7, place mine entrance. In this introductory mission, A Fistful of Darkstone, you begin on the mine entrance tile. Other missions, which you can find in the City of the Ancients adventure book, have special setup instructions. Some start at the mine entrance tile, just like this mission, A Fistful of Darkstone. Some start in the middle of the mine. Some do not even start in the mine, as they start in the other worlds, and some have the mine already set up for you. In our last step, Step 8, Place Heroes, this is where you're going to go ahead and place your heroes on the mine entrance tile. Now, as you can see here on the mine entrance tile, it's got some lines making up a grid. So you can start in the last row, 1, 2, 3, 4, or in the second row, the 1, 2 squares in the middle. The placement of our heroes are based upon their initiative. So the highest initiative goes first. Since the gunslinger has a 6, she'll go ahead and stop right there, right in front of the minecart stop. The saloon girl, she has an initiative of 5, so she'll go ahead and she'll stand right there next to the gunslinger. Now she stops there, the gunslinger looks at her with her eyes and kind of motions behind her with her eyes to say, "You need to get behind me." So with the game all set up, the heroes created and placed, join us next video as we introduce our heroes and the mission.